Ryan a chance to share in a minute, but just know Ryan has had a journey that started with being drafted by the San Francisco Giants, celebrating in the clubhouse in 2000, the Giants having the best record in the National League and winning the West, followed by a trade in 2001 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And yet, his journey has brought him back here tonight and this season. And I want to ask you, as you begin, Ryan, to share just a little bit about what events that we've described here in your life that have really caused you to lean on Christ, and give you a chance to share with the fans tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. First of all, just thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for being here and giving us an opportunity to share our stories with you. And I think as I start here, the biggest thing for me is this moment right now. Through my career and as the ups and downs, the biggest thing that I kept asking the Lord was to put me in a place where I can share and help people to be closer to Him and draw to Him through strength. And man, He's really done that for me right now. And this point, looking up and seeing all you here tonight, this is a great moment for me. But as a child, I grew up in the church. My mom was a secretary, so I spent pretty much every day at the church. That was my preschool and until I went to grade school. And it was good and bad for me. It was great growing up like that, but I think as I got older, being in the church all the time made me go away from that when I got into my teen years. And not that I didn't believe in the Lord or trust in Him, but I just didn't want to be at church anymore. I had spent so much time there, and it kind of affected me as I went to college and into pro ball. And you know, it took things in my career for me to start leaning back on Him. First with the Tommy John surgery in 2001 after I got traded to the Pirates. That really made me, you know, lean on Him a lot and pray that my arm was going to be okay and my career was going to be okay. And after the surgery, you know, I came back healthy and was pitching, but things just weren't going the way that I'd hoped. And the biggest thing that I learned through that was I still believed and I still prayed, but I didn't trust. I didn't trust that He was going to put me in the place, in the situations that were going to help me strive and become a better person, a better player, and a better Christian. And it wasn't until about this last year that I finally gave it up to Him. And I think that is what has changed the most in my life. This last winter and last season, my wife and I, we went through a tough season. I don't know if people have seen the Showtime show, but we talked about it a little bit on there. You know, last year was a tough year for me on the field. I got released in the middle of the summer by the Philadelphia Phillies, and I was 33 years old, sitting at home in the middle of summer for the first time with no job. I was on a minor league contract, so that being said, we had no income. And even though I had been smart with my money through the years and we were financially okay, you know, that was still a major stress on our life of where we were going to be in a couple years with paying the bills, and I didn't know if I was going to play again or have a job. And so I just kind of sat down and I really started talking to the Lord on a daily basis and just telling Him that if this is the end, that I thanked Him for everything that He had given me and given me the chance to play. And you know, if there was another opportunity, just to put me in the right direction, and if there was another opportunity that didn't work out, that I was okay with that. That I trusted Him that He was gonna make things the way He wanted them. And during the season last year, my wife's dad, my father-in-law, he suffered a major heart attack, and he ended up having major heart failure after that. So as he lay in the hospital, and my wife and one-year-old baby are in Pittsburgh, after my release, I signed with the Anaheim Angels and went to Salt Lake City. So we found each other apart from each other for the first time in our lives in a long time. I was in Utah, she was in Pittsburgh with her dad, and our son was with him. And you know, was spending a lot of time by myself, and she was, you know, at her dad's side on a daily basis. And once again, you know, the thing that got us through was that we just trusted that he was doing this in our lives for a reason. And some other things that happened to him in his trials where he had 2 failed heart transplants. The first one, they opened up the organ donor and he had an infection in his chest that they didn't see, so all the organs were not capable of being used. And he had already been put to sleep at the time for his transplant. So when they woke him up, the first time they had to break the news to him that, you know, that they didn't do the surgery. And so then a month goes by and they do another transplant. The transplant went great for about an hour after the completion, and about an hour later his heart shut down on the right side, which is the main side you need to pump the blood. So not 1 failed transplant, but 2 transplants go bad. And you know, the doctors are just kind of staring at us with no real explanations of why this happens to anyone. But once again, you know, the only thing that can get you through something like that is Christ. And we prayed and we prayed, and it was a long winter, you know, sitting by his bed and watching him kind of fight good days and fight bad days. And once again, you know, the time came where the question was asked, you know, where is the Lord and where is he going to put us? And I think it really hit home for both of us about the middle of January. You know, we kept praying for him to get better, and we kept praying for him to be okay. And I think one night we finally just looked at each other and said, you know, this isn't what we should be praying for. We should be praying for, Lord, just you do what you need to do. And about a week later, he passed away. But that was the biggest lesson for me in following Christ once again, and just trust that he knows all. He makes all okay. It might not be what we want. It might not be the situation we want to be in, but he puts us in the places that we wants us in and that we're going to be okay in. And, you know, all of that doesn't happen. It gets me back here to be in San Francisco, and it gets me to having this great season. And it gives me the opportunity to come here tonight and share my hardships kind of and the rebound. And it's all, nothing happens to me without the Lord, that's for sure. And I believe that on a daily basis. And I pray more now than I ever have. I pray for the littlest things that I would never even think about praying for before. You know, I pray, obviously I pray for games, but I don't pray for wins for myself. I pray for my teammates, and I pray for the Lord to be with me on the mound. And I just, you know, I pray for the small things that I didn't really see important before. It was always, God, I want to win this game today. Please be with me and let me get a W. And now it's just, Lord, give me the strength, be with me on the mound, just work through me. And ultimately, I pray the most for is, God, please let my story inspire people. And please let my story reach out to people and see that they need to follow Christ and have him in their lives. So,